Hey everyone, welcome to the next Click Create Artist Spotlight. Today we have Postman. What is your style in your own words?
Yeah, I was trying to think of the best way to answer this, and I think I narrowed it down to loser punk. So describe that a little bit more. I've always been obsessed with lovable losers or unlovable losers, and I want to immerse them in a world that you wouldn't usually see that kind of character. In addition to cyberpunk influences, I have a lot of I have a film background, and my favorite filmmakers are probably the Coen brothers, and No Country for Old Men and Raising Arizona and Big Lebowski and all that. I was talking to my buddy Gianni, and we were discussing looking at animation like a performance and like a character, as opposed to the traditional animation background. I see a lot of people are so good at making stuff that is just so cool and tight and slick and really advanced from a technical level, and that's just not my world. So I like to take a cool concept, take a surreal concept, and put a person in it, and through that hopefully put the audience in that too.
Tell me about your goals when you made the piece that you made for Click Create.
I'll work on all these different projects over the course of years, and I made this weird homeless lanky guy with a trench coat and his boxers on, fascinated by stuff like class struggle. And when I see those cyberpunk worlds, you'd probably have to be really rich to afford some flying car or something like that. Like what do they do to get by and survive and stuff, and that kind of thing. I was just really inspired by that, to be I want to take this weird character and put him in this kind of action movie scenario, make you feel his fear and his adrenaline that he would need to leap across this futuristic highway. I wanted to feel like there is a person inside the scene holding a camera inside of this crazy world, because I think it just makes a very surreal world, a daunting world, very tangible.
So what inspires you to create?
There's just the hunger to create, that basic hunger that I have to. It's, a life force, food or water or anything like that. I think on the personal level, I think it's whatever mood I'm in, I think definitely drives the creativity, or even drives the need to take a break from creativity, which I think those things inspire me in different ways. It's great to ride a high positive point in your life, and that can really drive a lot of work and a lot of motivation and focus. But I think really interesting work also has come out when I'm at my absolute lowest, and it's the only thing I can hold on to. Sometimes it's an escape from it, to just get away from all of this, madness. I think being a computer-based artist was really interesting in lockdown. It was such a breath of fresh air to be able to escape into creativity, and that's when the NFT stuff got really big. And that really did give me a nice separation from just the mountain of, stresses that we all were going through. And Click Create and NFTs and all that has opened up a lot of doors that were not before. And it's given me a motivation to create more of the personal stuff.
What is coming for you in the future? Do you have any big projects or releases coming up?
Yes, I have a project that I have been writing a script for longer than I would like to admit. It is a sci-fi horror movie called Belly of the Beast, and I'm so close to getting the final draft of it, and I'm also working on a short of it. And it's the idea of somebody waking up, or a team of scientists going into a building that never ends. I think there's just something in the ether where it's when people see dead malls, empty malls or empty office buildings and stuff like that, and there's a sort of dreamlike component. I know that I've throughout life I've had dreams where it's just rooms upon rooms blending into each other, and I've talked to other people who've had that too. And that was a concept that always fascinated me. And I had originally started writing this as a low budget live action feature, but now it's it's an animated one, and it's really freeing to transition this low budget live action thing to a animated movie, because it's like, oh, there's so much more room for scale here.
What goals do you have as a digital artist?
A live art exhibit is like a huge dream of mine, to have like a projected thing, some type of live event. Whenever I go to an art museum and I see anything that's even remotely similar to what I do, it's like, God, I wish I could do this so bad. Really long term, I would love to break into video games. I think that there's been a lot of like great art being made in the video game space and great entertainment, but I still think there's a lot of room for more roads to travel in the video game world. I would love to get into that.
So can you tell us about your biggest win in the space?
It is actually from Clutch. is my all-time high. Been featured on Foundation a few times. And then something like this, getting featured here, like this is a really big win for me. I feel like a really special kind of one is I was really fascinated with like the Hic et Nunc community, the Tezos community. That was a really special world where it was like people were not making a lot of money off of stuff. It was just a little bit at a time. And there was just so many different kinds of work on there that was so inspiring. Like it kind of reminded me of like early days of Tumblr or something, like if people were selling their work. Like it was a really special couple of months that I was like, I don't know how long this is going to last, so I'm just going to, enjoy it as much as I can, and met some other cool artists and got to support them, and that was exciting.
If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
I was thinking about this one. I always, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be like Shrunk, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And but like an ant seems like too, subservient. But I was thinking like a grasshopper, because you get to be very agile and leap and everything. You get a good vantage point of the world. You're not like as much, I feel like, prey. I guess you are for like crows or whatever. But I would say like a grasshopper.